Hello everybody, welcome to the Cycling GK. The dust has finally settled on the World Cup and we're going to take a nice little relaxed look back at all the winners. Argentina, Messi, Richarlison, all that kind of stuff. Come on, let's get in it. That Martinez dance, by the way, it's Alan Pardew-esque. Do you remember when Alan Pardew?
Yeah, it made me sick.
Come on then, let's go. Woohoo! Just want to say a big shout out to the lovely people at Sky Glass hooking us up well and truly with a 65-inch camo green bad boy. We managed to do, how many watch-alongs did we do, Tom?
7?
7 watch-alongs we did. Our first ever foray into the watch-along gig and we absolutely buzzed off it. Sky Glass, you legends. Let me just show you my brand new Sky Glass TV. The amount of time this bad boy saves me by talking to it rather than having to find the remote control, which is probably down the side of the sofa or the kids are taking the batteries out of it or something. Lifesaver. Hello, Sky. How cool is that? It actually listens when I talk to it. You can fast forward, pause and rewind all by saying hello, Sky. Some of the functions are world class too, like Smart Search, an easy way to get what I want. Have a look at this. Hello, Sky. Take me to the Cycling GK on YouTube. There she goes. How easy is that? And if you're like me, you haven't got a clue what you want to watch, just try this. Hello, Sky. What should I watch? Boom, an absolute doddle. Okay, so Argentina, worthy winners, Tomasi?
Worthy winners, yeah, mate. I think half the blooming world wanted them to win this World Cup because of Messi.
Yeah.
And the little fella delivered, along with some of his trusty comrades.
Mate.
But yeah, 100%.
That final, how good was the final?
Do you know what? I don't think you realise how good it is because we don't listen to the commentary.
Yeah, no sound.
We have the volume off when we watch it and we were like jumping up and this is amazing, this is amazing. And then it was afterwards, you look on Twitter and on YouTube and everyone's going, it's the greatest football
Best
match.
game ever.
Best final ever.
Ever.
What do you say? What do you think? Were the winners?
No, I was the same as you, right? I'm watching the game, me and Tubes did the final, we watched it, and for an hour, it was almost a bit boring because France were nowhere near it, right? An hour into the game, until France finally scored, that's when it kicked off, yeah? I think it was like 70 minutes or whatever it was anyway. But I said to you lot, didn't I, right? And I asked all the viewers at home that were watching on the watch-along, I said, is Didier Deschamps going to get sacked after this? Because he kept bringing off the big boys. He bought off Giroud, Dembele. He bought them all off, right? And he was just putting on centre-backs for fun, wasn't he?
He was.
And I asked everybody at home, I said, do you think Didier Deschamps is going to get sacked for this? Because it almost looks to me like he has thrown the towel in. And it's just like, let's just keep it at 2-0. Little do we know. France go and score 2 goals out of absolutely nowhere. The game is on, goes into extra time. Oh, my God, it was just end to end.
Hat-trick. And you're on Mbappé scores a hat-trick.
I know.
Losing team.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Messi, worthy winner of player of the tournament. He was a joke.
He was always going to win it.
He was always going to win it.
But
before the final, before the final then, if Mbappé would have scored a hat-trick in the final and France had won, do you think they would have given it to Mbappé?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I thought it was a foregone conclusion. I thought Messi's getting it full stop. What did he win? How many Man of the Match awards did he win?
5.
5 Man of the Match awards, yeah. I read somewhere the other day, right, in total he's got something like 350 odd career Man of the Matches.
A lot of trophies, that is.
That is a huge amount of trophies. I've got one. I've got one. Here it is.
You have not got one.
I've got one.
You have not got one.
I've got two. Another one's at home. But this is a beautiful one. Like, this is, look, and it's a bit busted as well.
It's broken.
I need to get that fixed.
Here's an interesting stat for you, Ben. So, let's just have a little bit of Messi appreciation then, because everything was like debate over.
Yeah.
It's over. And I think
is the debate over?
It is for me.
Yeah, it is.
But I think people are very quick to say it's over because of Ronaldo's seeming decline.
And his behaviour and his attitude in the last year or so.
But you've got to remember what Ronaldo has done.
I do remember it.
And he scored 8 goals in 1 World Cup. However, Messi, he has got 11 Man of the Matches in World Cup games.
Yeah.
42% of all of his World Cup appearances have been Man of the Matches.
Ridiculous.
He's the most appearances ever in World Cups, 26, I believe. He has matched Ronaldo's all-time World Cup contributions in 1 World Cup.
My golly gumdrops.
Right? He's the only player to score in every round. Group stages.
Group stage, knockout, quarter, semi.
Yeah, group stages, round of 16, quarter, semi, final. He's the first player to win the Golden Ball for the best player twice. Is it over, Ben? Is the debate over?
I think it might be. I think it might be.
I can't see where the other argument is.
I think, no, do you know what I mean? There is always going to be another argument, and I will always say I just think they're two head and shoulders above everybody else. Yeah. But I just think that this is almost unarguable against, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. It is. And do you know what? It is, because every stat you look at and you kind of go, Messi edges it. But they are very different players, as we know. Very different players. Cristiano's just an athletic monster, isn't he?
Do you know what I think the thing is, though? The thing that I really like about Messi is they're two completely different characters, Ronaldo and Messi, yeah? And you saw on the pitch on the final on Sunday when they had won the game, how much it meant to Messi, but how much it meant to everybody else for Messi.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? He is that much of a team player. I saw like the team talk he did before the game. Everything, you can tell how much it means to him. Talking about Messi, actually, I want to talk about S house of the tournament, yeah? I want to talk about the shit house. The chump
stroke shit
house of the tournament, right? So that's what I want to talk about here. Right?
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
It's double embarrassing, isn't it, right? So a lot of people are saying Emi Martinez, his penalty antics, all that kind of stuff. Nowhere on this earth, right? That is world class being a shithouse, yeah? That is for the good reasons.
Yeah, good shithousery.
That is incredible.
So Emi's got to win shithouse of the tournament in the most positive
but in the right way, mate. He has got in the heads of absolutely everybody there, right, yeah? He's helped his team, for one, but two, he has got into the French team like you wouldn't believe, right? But the real winner of the chump shithouse of the tournament has to go to Salt Bae. Has to go to Salt Bae, right? So this guy, you must be aware of.
We'll put a picture on the screen now.
That guy, the Salt guy, yeah? That guy, right? So after the full-time whistle, makes his way onto the pitch, starts parading round.
Asmir Begovic round everyone.
Horrible, like sleazing on everybody. And there's one clip, well, there's a couple clips actually, but one of the clips where he's trying to hold Martinez's, like, arm and like getting with a fit, and he's trying to do a Salt Bae on top of the World Cup. Ugh, horrible. But the worst one of all of it, right? Messi has just walked down and he sees this Salt Bae guy, and Messi turns and goes, "You're right." Like, by the way, Salt Bae's like grabbing his arm to say hello.
He's
say
like
hello to
puppy,
me. Yeah, say hello to me. Say hello to me. Messi turns round and goes, "Yeah, cool." He carries on grabbing his arm. You can see Messi's pissed off with it. He's like, "Get off me, you little weasel." It is horrible.
Let's get that in Argentinian. Get off me, you little weasel.
Oh, mate, it's got a few putas in there. I know that for sure, right? That's what's in there. But it is disgusting, yeah? So he is without doubt. Salt Bae, your prices are extortionate. Your steak is bang average, all right? I guarantee I'll cook a better steak, and you're an absolute weasel. Don't do that, all right? Let them have their moment. Leave the boys to it, all right? You have contributed nothing to this,
So we're talking about Emi.
What a goalkeeper.
What a guy. Right, genuinely, is there a bigger clutch save in the history of football ever than that save just before the penalties?
Literally just before the penalties. Seconds before the penalties.
And not only was it... how good a save was that, Ben?
It is. I said it at the moment on stream, live on YouTube. That is the biggest save Emi Martinez will ever make. I promise you, it is the biggest save he will ever make. The player should score, by the way. The France player should score. It's the guy who came on as a sub. If that falls to a world-class forward, if that's someone like a Giroud and Mbappé...
Isn't a bad effort?
If it's a Benzema, it's in the back of the net, yeah? It's in the back of the net. It's not a bad effort, but what he's done, he's just tried to lace it. He's just tried to put his boot through it.
You'll testify to this. So you're 6'4", Emi's...
About 6'5".
About 6'5".
Yeah.
And he's a little bit broader than you, isn't he? He's a big unit.
I don't think he could bench press more than me, though.
He's a bit broader than me,
for sure, yeah, for sure.
Right? If you're a 6'1" goalie, you're not saving that.
Nah, he has got long legs, mate. He is a long-legged person, right? So I'd say his legs are much longer than most goalkeepers' legs, right? But in that moment, what he's doing is, right, as the player's bearing down on him and he's hitting it first time almost, he knows that he's just going to lace it. He knows he's just going to put his boot through it. He's not trying to find a corner or anything like that. So at that moment, he has to make a split decision, last-second split decision, and just go, "Do you know what? I'm going to have to spread myself as big and wide as I possibly could." And it's an instinctive thing to throw your foot out like that as well, Really instinctive thing, because sometimes you might just try and keep your legs in and whatever, but he obviously saw something in the way that the player was approaching the ball to put his body in that position, and it was an absolute thing of beauty.
Messi's got a lot to thank him for.
The whole team, the whole of Argentina, mate. If that ball goes in the back of the net there, it's 4-3 to France. Game is over, mate. Full-time whistle as soon as kickoff comes, right? That's what I mean when I say that is the biggest save he will ever make in his career. And I'm getting goosebumps now thinking of the goosebumps he would be getting at that moment in time when he makes that save, yeah? And he sees it goes flying up there, and then Argentina go on a counter-attack, right? And he knows the full-time whistle is seconds away, right? He must have had the biggest adrenaline boost, the biggest single adrenaline boost anybody has ever had. And he's just taken that energy into the penalties, right? And I said to you guys as well on the stream, I said, I have got to back my boy Emi in this penalty shootout. I've got to back Argentina, because if you put an Emi Martinez in goal, and no disrespect to Hugo Lloris, if you put a Lloris in there as well, I know which goalie I do not want to take a penalty against, and it's Emi Martinez.
So where does he now, in terms of like Premier League and world goalkeepers, like world goalkeepers, is he top 10?
Easy top 10. To be fair, I think he was probably up there anyway, to be honest. Yeah. He was probably edging towards the top 5 goalkeepers in world football anyway, before the World Cup. He's that good, mate, honestly. We've had Neil Cutler on the Fozcast, we've had him on the Football Fill-In, his ex-goalkeeper coach at Aston Villa. And honestly, I remember he said to me, actually, beginning of last season, right, we played them the first game of the season, and Emi Martinez had about half a day off. He had played for Argentina in the summer, come straight back for pre-season training. He said he trained for like a day, and now he's playing in the first game of the season. He said he's a joke. His work rate is phenomenal. He said, I've never seen somebody want to win and want to play and want to be better and want to learn as much as Emi Martinez, right? So we knew he was good. And I said, yeah, but just how good is he? How good is he? And he said, he's the best he's ever worked with. He's worked with me, by the way. He didn't even mention me in that comment. He said, no, he's the best I've ever worked with, Ben. He said, honestly, he is just so driven. He is ridiculous. So, yeah, for me, he was always edging towards the top 5 anyway. He was always edging.
We need to get him on the podcast.
We do need to get him on the podcast. But now, like you say, though, I think after what's just happened at the World Cup, I honestly think he could have some of the biggest clubs in the world trying to sign him.
Well, let's get him before he leaves Solihull.
Genuinely, he could have some of the biggest clubs in the world. Villa have got a 40-50 million pound goalkeeper on their hands. For sure.
Minimum.
For sure.
Yeah.
What a guy there as well, by the way. Emi, honestly, mate, so happy for you, because you've met him. He is one of the nicest,
lovely man,
just normal, down-to-earth, family man. What a guy.
Yeah, okay. Right, so team of the tournament. Who's the team of the tournament, as in the nation of the tournament?
Yeah, it's an obvious one. It has to be Morocco.
I'm just taking, you can't just say Argentina, because they'll just win. If that's the kind of viewpoint, they'll win everything, won't they?
Yeah, they will.
Morocco.
Yeah, they... do you know what? They surprised a lot of people. You know, if you look on paper, to be perfectly honest, if you look on paper, they have got a good team. They've got a strong team. Premier League players, proven players around the world. It is a strong team. But I think everybody probably underestimated their fight and their togetherness, because they were an absolute problem to play against. You know, the Portuguese, the Spanish, they saw it up close and personal. You know, they just couldn't break them down. Their defensive record was ridiculous.
Well, if you don't concede goals,
exactly,
you're off to a good start.
Exactly,
aren't you? And their route is the one. They've come out of a group with Croatia.
Tough group.
They beat Belgium.
Wow.
Drawn with Croatia and beat Canada.
Yeah.
Then they've beat Portugal, they've beat Spain.
I know.
And you think...
Mate, even the French game, right? We did the watch-along for the Morocco-France game, right? And France were lucky. We were so lucky. I remember saying it to you, actually, with about 5 minutes to go, and I went, mate, they've been unlucky in this game. And you went, they can't have been unlucky. It's 2-0. And I get what you're saying. I think a lot of people on paper will look at it and go, yeah, I get what you're saying, yeah? Because the shots on goal, all that kind of stuff. Morocco had a lot more possession, right? But the chances that they were getting balls blocked on the line, balls whizzing across, just couldn't quite get that final touch on it.
That's the difference, though, with a team like France, right?
Yeah.
And I know I did kind of intimate that, but the point I was making is they just get the job done.
Yeah.
Like, should they have beat England? Were England a better team?
Yeah.
Don't matter. France got over the line.
They got the job done.
But they've got pedigree.
Yeah.
And they've won the World Cup multiple times, France, haven't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Argentina, this is now their third World Cup win. And just quickly touching on England, what's your expectation now for the Euros? Because Gaza Southgate's staying on.
Yeah.
What's your expectation for the Euros? Win, it's shit or get off the pan, right?
Yeah, he is getting to that point now, I think, to be perfectly honest with you, where it has to be another semi-final or final minimum. It has to be that now, because the squad that we've got, the squad that we've got. Honestly, we could have won this World Cup.
We've done this before with England, though, haven't we? In the noughties.
We could have won this World Cup, Tom. Genuinely, we could have won this World Cup, right? Argentina are a good team. They're not the top. France are a good team. They're not the top, yeah?
No.
It was there for the taking. It really, really was. I just think with a bit more belief, a bit more kind of winning mentality about it.
You just need that one win.
Yeah,
and I know you just need to win the Euros.
Like I say, a World Cup is such a hard thing to win. We said this about this at the beginning of the tournament. A lot of people are saying Brazil, and I was one of them. Brazil, they've got the best team. And I'm like, yeah, but you need a lot to go for you to win a World Cup. You know, you need a lot of luck, VAR decisions, referee decisions, fitness, illness, all that kind of stuff, right? Can have a big factor.
And knowing how to get over the line.
Knowing how to get over the line.
Look at the Spanish.
Exactly, yeah.
For years and years and years, they were like England, weren't they?
Yeah.
Great squad of players. And they just couldn't get it done.
No.
And then they won the Euros, World Cup, Euros.
Boom,
even now, it was like when the Spanish started getting... They weren't favourites before we started. But when they started getting going, people were like, oh, they could do this because they just know how to do it.
Exactly, yeah. There's a lot of teams have fallen short this World Cup. You know, Germany, Belgium, Spain, those kind of teams. You know what I mean? Big teams. I do want to, though, give a bit of a shout-out to Japan, though, as well. I do. Yep. I've got to give a shout-out to Japan. The group that they were in, honestly, was brutal. Got out of it. It was incredible. And then, you know, the beating Germany and just the way that they played, pure energy, pure intensity, the fans cleaning up after themselves, all that kind of stuff.
That's nice to see.
Beautiful. Like, you can tell they're just lovely, respectful people, and without doubt win best shirt of the tournament, the home and away. Absolute thing of beauty. Japan have won a lot of friends this World Cup, and
they have, and they were brilliant. And like you say, it wasn't just the fans; they were cleaning up the players as well. They left the changing rooms absolutely spotless. But it's nice to see that it's not just... I know it was Argentina, France in the final. Yeah. It was kind of their two of the titans of world football. But it's nice to see the Japanese doing well. You know, the first African team to get
Morocco,
into the semis.
Yeah, I'm right. And Bono, shout out Bono, the goalie, by the way. Serious clean sheet record as well.
Yeah. But it's nice to see the kind of gap shrinking a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you said with the Morocco team, they've got some players.
Mate,
they've got Hakimi's buying. It'd be interesting to see what Ziyech does when he comes.
Yeah, there's probably a few players, people like Maguire, same sort of thing. You know, they haven't really been playing week in, week out for their Premier League team. When they get back, is that going to change? Is the World Cup going to be a bit of a springboard for them to get their place back again? Yeah. I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like people like Harry Maguire, I feel bad for him. He's had a really good World Cup. Is he going to go and sit on the bench now for the next 6-7 months?
And then players like McAllister at Brighton.
Wow.
I mean, there's big moves going to be happening now, isn't there?
There's got to be. Like the young lad, who is it? Enzo Martinez.
Fernandez.
Enzo Fernandez for Argentina.
He's at
Benfica. There's going to be the World Cup has always been and will always be a springboard for players to go and get big money
or
moves.
You just move to Benfica because they just produce them
for fun, mate. Goal of the tournament.
I've
got 2 nominations for this. The obvious one is Richarlison.
Yeah,
I think.
agree.
Do you know what? Actually, it's not. I've got 2. Richarlison for me. It has to be Richarlison.
Agreed.
Just because it. You know, that touch and that ability, that nimbleness to be able to then swivel, get the ball on the volley. Oh, it was an absolutely beautiful goal.
Instinctive.
It was so instinctive. He just knows how to move his body to get into a position to try and score, and that's the beauty of that goal for me. The Saudi Arabia goal for against Argentina in that first game. By the way, that first goal goes in there, for Saudi Arabia. They go and beat Argentina, and then I would have liked to have been able to put some money on Argentina at that point.
Could have put some money on
because the odds would have gone right out, you know. At that point, Saudi Arabia were favourites to win the group. At that point, it is ridiculous. So shout out to Argentina from that point on, winning every game. Incredible.
Yeah, okay, young player of the tournament, Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah.
Chump of the tournament, we've already done. Goal of the tournament,
Richarlison, boom. What's your thoughts on the tournament as a whole, though? Because there was a lot of scepticism before the tournament started. Even down to the weather. Apparently, inside the stadiums, it was like lovely, like
freezing.
It was actually like to the point where it's a bit cold, which is bonkers.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the migrant workers, gay rights, women's rights, all that kind of stuff. But just sort of like take that aside for a minute. As a spectacle, as a tournament, it's delivered, hasn't it?
The football was good.
Yeah.
Tournament I didn't like.
Really?
Yeah, and I tell you why I didn't like it. I was quite optimistic about it coming in and going, do you know what? It's a winter tournament. It'll break up with Christmas and stuff. Hasn't worked for me.
Really?
No.
Don't enjoy that?
The second England went out, I was like, I'm done. When's the Prem back?
I don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, I'm done with it. What do you think?
No, do you know what? I've been really surprised, actually. Really surprised, because I was super sceptical of it all. Did not want it to happen. Was not looking forward to it. But I think it has been... I think they've done an incredible job. I think they've done an incredible job, so much so that I think the Middle East, that kind of way... it is deserving of having tournaments in the future. And because of, as well, you've got to think, when it's held somewhere in Europe, especially when it's like around England or it might be Russia, you're going to get problems, you're going to get trouble, you're going to get flare-ups, aren't you? You will. It's the way it goes. Football is a tribal sport and you're going to get problems happen. Out there has been absolutely nothing. Absolutely zero. No trouble, no problems. No, like the police presence is there, but they haven't had to do anything. Everybody's been fully respectful of the country that they're playing it in. And I just think the football on the pitch delivered. I think we've just been treated to one of the greatest World Cup finals we'll ever see in our lifetime.
It will be. It will be. I think it is. You did state this, but it is important to say we are talking about this on a football point of view.
Oh, for sure. Just football.
And as it being organised, and it seems to have gone very, very well.
Yeah.
So, from a football point of view, it was great. Just with the whole time of year and everything else and how it ended up there, not for me.
Don't get me wrong, I am buzzing for the Premier League, mate. I am absolutely buzzing for the Premier League. Anybody that plays fantasy Premier League anyway, you've got no excuses, you know that. Wild cards are available, right? You've got until Boxing Day morning, the 26th in the morning, all right? Don't mess around. Some big decisions to be made, yeah? I'm going to be smashing it this second half of the season.
Oh, I can't wait.
Bring the Premier League back on. This is what we want to see.
We've got football fill-in, I think, on the 27th.
Boom.
And yeah, I'm going to get the Accas on the go.
There you go.
What's that, Accas?
Accas, yeah. I am just buzzing to be able to sit down, have a few beers on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th.
I think you've earned it, mate.
And I'm going to have a lovely time this Christmas. Everybody at home, thank you for supporting us this year. We absolutely love you. By the way, that's Emi Martinez's match-worn shirt against Villa last season. He signed it for me as well, the big boy. What an absolute legend. You lot of legends at home. Happy Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. The big dog has Buller says happy Christmas too. All the best.